The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet, with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube. And thanks to our friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to cable systems serving an additional 12 million households. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten. Well, we had another Valentine's Day massacre, and ironically, it was just outside of Chicago once again. This time at Northern Illinois University, where a 27-year-old former graduate student, his name was Stephen Kazmierczak, walked into a classroom, shot 22 people, 5 of them dead, before turning one of his 3 guns on himself. He was interested in peace and social justice. He had had some kind of mental health issues. He was off his meds. He purchased 2 of the 3 guns just several days before, on the 9th of February. You know, you send your kids to university and you think that that's an environment where they're going to be safe. And you don't have to worry about you know, their well-being. It's supposed to be a safe kind of an environment. And of course, we had the Virginia Tech massacre last year. Whether this guy was a copycat, I don't know. Why people who are troubled feel that they have to take out college students is beyond me. I do not understand the psychology of this, nor do I pretend to, by any stretch of the imagination. It's interesting that it was suggested here on News Talk Online on Paltalk the day after or the day of, I forget which, when we discussed that incident, and you recall there was a witness, an eyewitness to that incident, who was here with us on Paltalk, speaking of the Virginia Tech shootings. It was suggested by some, if you didn't have gun control, if you let the kids carry guns to class, because Virginia Tech is a gun-free environment, supposedly, that they might have defended themselves and there might have been fewer victims. There were many who scoffed at that, but that idea has actually gained some ground since then, and I'm hearing it discussed again as a result of what happened in Illinois and Northern Illinois University yesterday once again. I hear people on the other side say this is why we need tougher gun laws, because he was able to so easily access guns and do what he did yesterday. It's a very, very sad day, obviously, for anyone who's connected with Northern Illinois University, and our hearts go out to the families of the victims, and we pray for the speedy recovery of those who were shot and who have, fortunately, as of now, not succumbed, although several are in critical condition. Police say that there were no red flags warning of any violent behavior when it came to this guy. And last I heard, they still didn't understand a motive. There was no note that's been reported or anything like that. I don't know. You know, you go to a beautiful campus like Northern Illinois, and it's got this serene atmosphere. And I mean, I like actually walking college campuses. When my son was looking for, you know, where he'd like to go to college, I really enjoyed going to the campuses, walking around, the academic freedom, the fact that people were very vocal in their beliefs, that there was activism on the campuses, that there was opportunities for people to express themselves artistically on the campuses. They just have an atmosphere that unfortunately you don't really get very much in the workplace of that's conducive to thinking and relaxing a little bit and not being under pressure. The last thing you expect in a university setting is that somebody's going to be walking into a crowded lecture hall and opening up with 3 guns. I frankly don't profess to have answers to these questions, but I have a lot of questions, and I guess most of us do. Flying High Girl 2001 says in text, heck, if a student or a teacher has a concealed weapons permit, he or she should be allowed to carry. If a student or a teacher had a gun, they could have stopped the SOB before he got so many shots off. That's an interesting point of view. I'm not going to argue against it. There was a day when I would, but not so much any longer. Susan in Canada. Susan, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hi Gary, how you doing? And you gifted me a blue nick, and please unlock my damn nick.
All right, we'll talk about that in another time.
Okay, hang on. I got something to say about this whole gun ordeal.
Talk about the issue at hand, not your nick.
I got something to say about the gun ordeal. Let everybody carry a gun, because exactly what you said. Somebody's gonna pull a gun on me. I'd like to pull one back out on you. You don't bring a frickin' knife to a gunfight. I think everybody should have a gun. And yeah, let's go back to the Wild Wild West. Let's all carry our own damn Uzis.
Well, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not about carrying Uzis. And I don't want the Wild Wild West as it was described on the big screen. Although I don't think the Wild Wild West is as wild as the tame Midwest is today. There are probably fewer people per capita dying back in the days of the Wild Wild West. Julie_1 writes in text, the destruction of the traditional family is the catalyst for violence and societal breakdown and loss of core values. Well, if that's the case, then that's the case. So what are we going to do about it to protect ourselves in the interim is really the issue. Roger is right there in Chicago. Roger, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. All right, I don't hear from Roger. Timon_2 says, take the guns out of people's hands and this nation will no longer exist as a republic. A friend of mine said, look what's going on in Iran. The people there can't protect themselves because they're not allowed to have guns, and look at the repressive government that they have. Perhaps they wouldn't have such a repressive government if they were allowed guns. I think a lot of people outside of the United States don't understand the culture of guns in the USA, and the people in the United States don't